Before this video begins, make sure to subscribe here at Radial Reviews to never miss an upload. Also, make sure to check out the links down in the description below to get discounts and deals on multiple car-related products. Alright, let's get into the review. Hello and welcome! Today we are inside of a 2020 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid Limited. This is an all-wheel drive model. I would like to thank Valenti Toyota in Westerly, Rhode Island for allowing me to review this vehicle. Their link is down in the description below. So, this RAV4 Hybrid Limited, this is a 2020 model year, but it is the current generation, and it has stayed about the same until 2022. So, this is finished in Silver Sky Metallic. This is a 2-row SUV with seating for 5. This comes in weighing about 4,900 pounds. And this is a used model, but it cost $41,000 when new. This is powered by a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, and this is a hybrid with 2 electric motors, getting a net horsepower of 219 and a net torque of 206 pound-feet. This is powered by a CVT transmission, and it does have a shiftable mode. This achieves great fuel economy numbers, including 41 miles per gallon city and 38 miles per gallon on the highway. This does have a 14.5 gallon fuel tank. This RAV4 rides on 18-inch alloy wheels, and those are on 225 tires. This does not have roof runners, but it does have a sunroof in here that is full power, so it slides and tilts. For safety features in this RAV4, you get Toyota's Safety Sense, including blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert with braking, forward collision alert with braking and avoidance, lane departure alert with assist, and automatic high beams. On the exterior of this RAV4, you get 8.1 inches of ground clearance. You also get 1,750 pounds of towing capacity, along with 1,120 pound payload. You get full LED headlights on the front and the rear of this, including halogen fog lights. You do get also something called adaptive front lights, so those can actually swivel the main headlight bulbs in the front for better visibility, for example if you're turning, or just if you're going around a corner. It's great for visibility and it'll help you out very much. Right on the front stamp of the vehicle, you do get a blue hybrid badge, signifying that you are in a hybrid model. Toyota has done this for a while. It gets a little blue ghosting effect. It looks pretty cool. You also do get heated mirrors with turn indicators on them in here. Along with, on the rear, you do get a trendy roof floating line. It's actually a fake one. It's not like in certain models it'll run all the way to the roof line, but it looks okay. I guess it's better to try it than not, but it's kind of an afterthought in here. It's kind of funny. They chose to include it. Hop on the trend. You do get dual chrome exhaust tips in the rear, and they look pretty cool. And the engine chose to pop back into EV mode so long as you're under a certain speed. So, unfortunately, I couldn't rev this, but that is the purpose of this car, to save as much efficiency as possible. Entering into the front of this RAV4, for the driver's door, it is very well padded all throughout with some nice white contrast stitching here and a pretty nice meaty grab handle. I like it. However, this is hard plastic on the exterior of it running all here, so I wish they had chosen to use some sort of soft touch material or at least something other than the cheap plastic. It does have a nice chrome trim running throughout it, as well as on the door handle. You do get memory power seats for the driver right here, so that's right there. And you also do get your typical controls. And all the windows are one touch, which is very nice. And you get power mirror adjustments, of course. And for the driver's seat, you do get a power adjustment for front and rear, and for the back section. And you do get 2-way lumbar support. I wish I had 4-way, but that's all right. Next to your steering wheel, you do get a little row of buttons. Luckily, no blank buttons of any kind, so that's great to see. And you also do get a heated steering wheel in here. Directly above that, you do get a little storage cubby area, finished in a nice, it's just plastic, but it's a nice brown color, gives it some nice flair. And above that, of course, you do get your climate vent. Inside of here, you do get an 11-speaker JBL sound system, so we will be checking that out towards the end of the video with an audio test. And as you just heard, the hybrid likes to start up and turn off again. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it's all right. Sitting inside of this RAV4, the first thing you notice for visibility, it is very, very good overall. There's not really any sloping roofline in here, so although they're a bit of a thick C-pillar, they have a pretty large window compared to other SUVs like that right now. And up in front, it is really tall, really wide windows, and they even include to-go glass all the way out there, right towards the A-pillar. So the A-pillars are not the thinnest, but they're moderate. They're pretty easy to see around. And all the safety suite features will, of course, help you with that. Alright, so for the steering wheel, it is leather wrapped. Feels very nice. Some nice leather on here. No contrast stitching, though. I wish they had carried over the white contrast stitching present in much of the other interior. And it looks like a pretty typical Toyota wheel. Has your arrow keys, your cruise control, lane departure warning, your speaking and volume settings, as well as your seek settings on the right. And for your turn stock, it is pretty typical, just some plastic ones. For your gauge cluster in here, on the right and the left, you do get your analog gauges, including a fuel gauge, temperature gauge, and also your... So how it works in a hybrid, you don't really have an RPM gauge. It'll just tell you whether you're in power mode or you are in eco, or charge. It's currently in charge, so it can recharge itself. And you can see that little green icon in the center saying EV mode. And in the center, you do get a digital screen, so you can configure that a lot of different ways, however you would like, to see your battery, your all-wheel drive system, and there's just a great plethora of features that you can have displayed here. For the dashboard itself, it is very well padded all throughout here. Everything you can touch until you get way, way down is very nice. Nice soft touch materials. And it's a nice angular interior in here. They rounded most of them off so it doesn't look aggressive or harsh, but it doesn't look like too much else, and I personally like this interior. I like the styling. In the center, you do get what was more common a couple years ago in vehicles, where they just started sticking a giant infotainment system screen sticking up from the center. They've refined more of those designs to date, but I think it looks okay in here. But most Toyotas looked like this in these years. Some of them still do, so it's alright. You do get a hard volume knob and a hard scroll knob, which are very nice to have, along with rows of hard buttons for all your functions. And this is Toyota's Entune system, so if you go to menu, and you go to info, one cool thing in here that I noticed is you have traffic incidents. So traffic events on current road, there are none, but traffic events nearby, you can actually see where accidents have been reported, and to see what the traffic flow is like throughout them, to go, go figure out your route, figure out any detours, and any avoidance to put into your route. It's a very nice feature, and I haven't seen it before. Also in your info, you do get an eco mode, so you can hyper-analyze all of your energy monitoring, and you can check out your motor, your battery, and all the other electric and hybrid functions all at once. Very nice. This is about an 8-inch screen, and it is of course a touchscreen, and it's pretty bright and easy to see. I think it's pretty well laid out, intuitive, and quick to respond. I like it so far. Down below that, you do get your climate controls, including dual zone automatic climate control, with a display screen right here. And you do get a hard row of buttons for those. Down below that, you will have a passenger airbag monitor, of course, and you do have, for the front seats themselves, heating and cooling, both in 3 levels. So, for the driver's seat, I said is powered. Unfortunately, the passenger seat is not powered. It is full manual adjustments, both for your height and for your sliding forwards. So, that seems like a miss to me. This was a $41,000 car. I don't know why it wouldn't have full power seats. That is odd to me, but it's okay. The seats themselves, they look pretty good. They have a lot of nice little angles to them. They have some like shoulder patches, I guess you could call them, give it some style, and some nice perforation, as well as white contrast stitching. They do look like nice seats. And for torso bolsters, they're pretty good. For thigh, they're also adequate. You have a traction control off button right there. And you do have a 12-volt charger right there, as well as one USB Type-A. Then also in the center, you do get a wireless charging pad for your phone. You do have a traditional shifter right here, as well as your electronic parking brake, an auto hold function, and drive modes. So if you push it, you would be in normal drive mode. You can also go to eco mode, sport mode. You have a trail mode, which is cool, and EV mode, so you'll stay in EV as far as possible. For your center armrest, it is, you open it like so. It has a top storage tier, and it's pretty deep in there. You also get 2 USB Type-A and Type-C ports inside of there. You have your cup holders here, nice and basic, and you do have a little brown trim accenting those. And to check out the reverse camera in here, That is a major gripe with this car. And there is currently a 360 camera also available, which is good. At least the tracking lines move. Up above, you do get your panoramic sunroof, of course. And you do get your vanity mirror in your visor. And for this visor, it doesn't extend the whole thing, but it does have a little plastic thing that comes out, a little extender. It's adequate. It covers all the way to the pillar. And in your rear view mirror here, you actually do have a camera mode. So if you flip that, as you can see, there are people behind me. So there is a camera mounted actually inside of the rear glass, like inside the vehicle, inside the cargo area. That is a very weird choice, because if it were to be raining or have a lot of snow or ice or something on the rear windshield, you would not be able to use this camera very effectively. So that's my only gripe with it, but I enjoy having one. I think they're a very cool idea, especially if you say you fill your trunk and you can't see very well. Of course, now you have a camera. All right, that's about it for the front, and let's hop into the rear. Okay, so here in the rear, I have not moved the front seat from where I am, and I'm about 6 feet tall with pretty long legs, and I still have room back here. My knees do not touch the seat, and yeah, it's pretty roomy back here, honestly. Very, very large windows, and it really does not feel restricting at all back here. Also thanks to this not third row, but thanks to this C-pillar window cutout, it really feels great back here. Very roomy, with footwell room and just everything else. For your door panel, it is very similar to up in front, and you do have a heated seat back here. So you do have heated seats for the whole row back here. Very nice to have. You do have a center pull down, very basic, with 2 cup holders. And in the center, you do have some nice floor mats in here with the Toyota emblem. You do get climate vents back here. Unfortunately, no controls for those, but you do get 2 USB Type A ports down there. I've been noticing this in a lot of the cars I review, which is very odd to me. So they have a storage pouch in the passenger seat, but there is not one in the driver's seat. This is a $41,000 car. I don't know why they would start cutting corners with pouches in the seats. I've been seeing this in more and more cars, especially since this is going to be commonly a family car. And you do once again get the full view of that panoramic sunroof. So the front section will slide and tilt, and the rear will still be glass, so it'll let in a lot of nice light. Alright, and let's check out the cargo area. Alright, so you do have a power lift gate. You will open it like so. Opens very slowly. And you have a pretty good storage area back here. You do have your JBL subwoofer, and you do have a storage privacy pouch right there. Privacy cover right there. And you do get some nice cutout, and you do get a nice cutout here in the cubby. There is very minimal wheel intrusion, which is nice, wheel well intrusion. And you do have a nice RAV4 mat. And below all of this, you do get a donut spare with a jack, which is nice in this day and age. They're getting rid of those in most vehicles. And for cargo area numbers, you get about 35 cubic feet right here with the seats up, and with them down, it goes down to about 70 cubic feet, which is very impressive. And to close it, you will push a button, as is common in most other vehicles. Alright, as for my final thoughts on this RAV4 Hybrid Limited, I think it's a pretty nice car. It has memory seating, it has heated and ventilated front seats, but a couple of the gripes, I just wish it had a power passenger seat. That's a very weird touch to me. But as for blank buttons, there are basically none that I could find. The only one I could see is right here. There would be maybe a switch in maybe an off-road model. This is essentially a top trim model. So this is about the only one I could find. But overall, the interior in here is very impressive, very nice, and full of creature comforts. And it really feels pretty upscale for a Toyota in most aspects. And it does have a lot of capability because it is a EV hybrid, so it gets amazing fuel numbers, and for $41,000, I think it's a pretty good package. And some unexpected touches like the camera mirror and a few other luxury touches. They were very nice to see included. Alright, that'll just about wrap up this review of the 2020 RAV4 Hybrid Limited. I would like to thank once again Valenti Toyota in Westerly, Rhode Island for allowing me to review this vehicle. That'll just about complete the review, and now I will do a quick audio test with this vehicle. Thank you for watching, and take care.